It's exactly 9 minutes gone past the hour of nine, still on the AM side, and this is the Eagles Morning Rise Breakfast Show, right here on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. My name is Omo Efepiso Semere, welcoming you on board. It's not time for us to talk politics and current affairs. First of all, I trust that you had a great time with Alan Smith on sports on Eagles Wings. Now let's talk politics and current affairs. First of all, the focus or the topic of discussion this morning is one that has been making the rounds across national dailies from its very inception. I mean, when the president or the federal government first made it known that a number of, convicts have been granted presidential pardon and clemency, and that was actually greeted with mixed reactions, public outcry with concerns coming from different quarters at the time, and we were also made to understand that. There were claims of smuggling of names, all right, and some agencies like the EFCC, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and a host of others had to, weigh in on the issue to probe. The list, all right, and now it looks like the president has actually bowed, to pressure. Well, for some people, no, he's only listened to the yearnings and concerns of the masses. Joining me to discuss this issue this morning is High Chief Peter Ame. He is the ex-IPAC chair and also National Secretary, Coalition of United Political Parties. Is joining us live via telephone this morning. Chief Peter Ame, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, President Bola Tinubu has revised the clemency list, excluding high-risk offenders, and he has also ordered the relocation of the Presidential Advisory Committee on Prerogative of Mercy Secretariat from the Federal Ministry of Special Duties to the Federal Ministry of Justice. And this decision is coming after widespread criticisms, over the initial list, which included individuals convicted of serious crimes like kidnapping, drug trafficking, and even murder. The revised list removes those convicted of serious offenses, and the president has instructed the attorney general to issue new guidelines for future exercises of presidential clemency. And the guidelines include mandatory consultations with relevant prosecuting agencies to ensure that only eligible individuals benefit. Chipita, I'm very sure that you monitored the story from its very inception, right? When names were published of those who, had benefited, so to say, from the presidential pardon and clemency. And a number of Nigerians who are very, very up to date with happenings, some of them had to question the rationale behind a number of names that were on the list, from someone who had committed murder, someone who had peddled, hard drugs, kidnapping, and what have you. Shortly after, we're made to understand that, there were claims of names, smuggling. In such a way that the EFCC, the ICPC, the NDLEA, they had to probe, the justification or otherwise of having these names on the list. But for starters, let's get your initial reaction to this whole presidential pardon and clemency thing in Nigeria. It's not the first of its kind, but it looks like this one came with a twist under the President Tinubu-led administration. What was your initial reaction when you first saw the list?
My initial reaction is that the presidential prerogative of mercy has been, over the years, been misused, and there's several level of lobby that come into the use of this prerogative of mercy. Is the fact that people involved, people bring money to bribe the people who are involved to get some level of clemency from the president. So the committee have not really worked in a way that will respect the interest and of justice, and then respect the purpose for which it was created. So that corruption that lingers around is the reason why you saw you saw the fact that the presidency today is bringing down the to try to review it. But the presidency have also shown some level of incompetence by what they have done, and this is not the first time that they are doing all this. They are reversal when it comes to doing issues. When Tinubu appointed the DGs and board chairman of SEMA, NTA, and UVA, he reversed it later. He also nominated Miriam Shati. and reverse the appointment. Tinubu also pardoned convicted drug dealers and also reversed the whole processes. And you know that the constitutional provision for the approval of this prerogative of basic means that it must take it to the Council of State. Council of State must also be consulted. The first list that was released was done in consultation with Council of State. So when the president gets his power from to now review what he has reviewed, because the irrevocable grace of presidential mercy, once the president extends it as a pardon, it stands firm. Because when you revoke it, it becomes irrevocable and absolute. Because what he has done now is that it has not presented this list to the Council of State. And we cannot continue to build illegality upon illegality. The people we are supposed to be using this level of mercy for are people, maybe traffic offenders, maybe people who, because of hunger, stole bread, and were sent to eat. These are a list of cases in our prison like that. So it shouldn't be for the high and mighty that also have access to the corridor of power. So the misuse of it is a problem, and it is not start under this administration. It's just that the administration has also, been part of the people who have also misused it. So we need to get this clear that the president has the power to do that, but the ability to have a proper committee under his leadership to be able to review who can enjoy such level of mercy, to be able to review who can participate in such level of mercy, has shown the level of incompetence with all this, both past and present administration. So it is critical that we continue to, hold government accountable and tell them that, so the sole power to reverse what the revision of the first list that was received does not belong to the president. It belongs to the court. It belongs to the court. The president cannot review it without consulting. And if it has been extended to these people, it is wrong for it to review. Yes, but a lot of people will say that is great for the fact that he listens to the people. He is not listening. It's the fact that he brought back image upon his administration. And the people saw it and it leaked because it was not officially released.
Okay.
So that is why they reversed it, not that because they listen to the people, because the people have cried over other things. And the president did not reverse it. Something that would have benefited the life of the people.
All right. They say Rome was not actually built in a day. So for some Nigerians, the president has actually listened to, the concerns of the masses. That's how they see it. However, do you think that this oversight is deliberate? You also made reference to reversal of appointment here and there, and quite frankly, it's gradually becoming a trend and very typical of this administration. Can we just excuse the president or the federal government under President Bola Tinubu and just tag this an oversight?
You say what?
I'm just asking that, is it possible for us to excuse the president, for all of these reversals, whether in terms of appointment or decisions, and target an oversight?
No, it can't be. It's something that happens repeatedly. Something that is, consistently happening cannot be oversight. It's a sign of lack of coordination. I think a lack of coordination will only result from proper incompetence, whether from the team or the management, that are handling issues. Because the life of our people are stake and is in the heart of the presidency. So we cannot have a presidency that will continue or consistently continue to take decision, and we want to target oversight. The issues are not right. They must have a well coordinated, properly well organized presidency that will look at issues, and before they release it, not that they will continue to reverse themselves. And it shows that their decisions are not fit for proper management of the Nigerian society. So we must advise the people in power to always take into deep consideration, because if you have a private business and you continue to reverse like this, the business will fall up. No private business will survive on the level of actions that have been displayed by those in power, and those private businesses will survive. So that's why we're saying that those who must manage this country must have had experience in private sector. They must have managed something in their life that works before they get to power, because these are the results, because we are playing with the life of 250 million people.
All
so
right.
You shouldn't be, prone to this level of constant mistakes and reversal.
Okay, let me also ask you this. What is your own assessment, in all fairness, when you look at the fight against corruption under this administration? Because for you, this smacks of, corruption in the system, even though this administration had actually assured Nigerians, from inception that it's going to fight corruption. Do you think the fight against corruption is actually on the right path? Are we making progress under this administration with orders happened thus far?
Where is the progress being made? People are defecting from one party to the other so that they can get shelter and get protective cover under the APC. Where is the progress? If you look at three of us, people, sitting governors were put on their toes. People are afraid to steal money. The current situation we have today is that people, they say just take a bar and go, and your corruption cases disappear. We're not making much progress. I want to see the kind of progress that makes sure that the level of waste in our system. The governors get more money today. It said they were getting 2 billion monthly subvention as of 2011, 2010. They're not getting 30 billion naira. And you find out that the state, these investments are not reflecting on the lives of people. So the FCC must do more. And I do not want a situation where we say, the FCC must do more through the executive arm of government. The FCC must be able to be as independent. We must make it a full-fledged independent institution, just like we're trying to push for INEC, so that they can be able to, on their own, take decision without political interference, so that we can have a system that is free from corruption. And we have with corruption, the reason why our country has not been able to move forward, the reason why there are more poor people, 139 million people that live in abject poverty, both in rural and urban communities, is because there's massive corruption in the system. And you can see the level of trust in governance by the Nigerian citizens. That level of trust has not increased. It has not improved because the masses always see people going into power and people who go to enrich themselves. So it is a challenge until there's a transparent process to manage these issues. Nothing can work, and people can hardly believe that there's any effort being made in the direction of the fight against corruption.
Well, but the EFCC has actually made quite a number of recoveries in the space of 2 years. Billions of naira, have been recovered, millions of dollars, and even thousands of assets in 2 years. What does that tell you?
What I'm saying, we don't want this issue of people coming out and there's Yahoo boys, arrangement. This money is counted as money that was recovered. There's money recovered from people, international people who do their free fraud. We're talking about actual money recovered from those in power. Yes, it just came out and said, Okowa, because Okowa defected to APC, it will not forgive his criminal prosecution. But we're yet to see any action because you can't talk, and there's no action. So there are more issues that we are talking about. There are more money. What is the percentage of that recovery to the percentage of the money that we are losing to corrupt practices from government agencies and government starters across Nigeria? Then it is the percentage that matters. You look at the level of money we are pumping into the system, the level of money that are pumping into projects. You see the level of contracts inflicted by whether from the National Assembly, appropriation or inflation, whether from National Assembly or from state government and the executive, and yet there's no investigation. We should not continue to have an EFCC that gives only with pursuing crime when people are stealing the money. When people steal 2 billion, at the end of the day, we'll pursue them with government investment of about 500 million naira, and then we'll recover some 1 billion. What is that? EFCC already should have resided with NFIU inside the banks and monitor as money flows, so that as government money is moving for government agencies, can be trapped and stopped. What purpose is for? So that we go into prevention of criminal appropriation than just trying to stop it from trying to go after to have a reaction instead of proactive measures.
All right. We just had to digress. But, coming back to the crux of the matter, which is, the federal government withdrawing pardon for high-risk offenders. Now, let's take a look at the possible implications of this, reversal or this review. What level of transparency do you think this revision and new guidelines, would bring to bear in terms of, accountability in the exercise of presidential clemency in the years to come?
There's no transparency. It is not done in good faith, to be able to say the purpose of which it was created. And for the president to say he has resigned, the president has no executive fear can masquerade as judicial oversight. It's not possible. The president has no constitutional authority to actively deem someone unfit for the very mercy he bestowed upon the social people. That's why I belong solely to the courts. If you release the first one, you know you have made mistakes, because we must keep our judiciary and give them the authority to act, to do their action. You now take that list to court, and those who will challenge it and say, oh, these people are not qualified under the prerogative of mercy provisions in our constitution, and this so should be done. That is how you can revoke it. But and because there are no transparency, and because there's no processes proper procedure was not followed by going to Council of State again to represent whatever your adjustments you have done to the list. Because the people you are talking about, those people still got pardon. But the fact is that they are now having a reduced sentence and all that. Not that the people were totally removed from the list. So the process is not transparent and it's not achieving the purpose. The purpose is to be able to grant grace to those whose lesser crime who have affected the society in a negative way, progressively negative way. The way these people who are kidnappers, who are killers, who have done economic sabotage to our country, the way their crime has affected us.
Chief Peter Ame, I mean, you belong to a civil society organization. That's the Coalition for United Political Parties, and I'd like to get your assessment of civil society organizations in Nigeria, because this is where you come in somehow. I mean, to have these very bold conversations. Recall that during the previous administration under late President Muhammadu Buhari, we saw 2 state governors who had, were initially convicted, for money laundering and embezzlement. They were also part of the presidential, pardon at the time, talking about the former governors of Plateau and Taraba State, if I'm not mistaken. And it did spark, public, outcry that are we not celebrating, corrupt, persons in our society? But for this to happen, almost all of the time or every administration, it goes to show that maybe we're not having the right conversations yet. What role do you think the civil society organizations can actually play in terms of holding very, bold conversations, daredevil conversations, such that the federal government, before even putting out a list, would consider, the necessary things before, putting names on the list for presidential pardon and clemency?
Well, for me, for the civil society, there are others that are doing well. Stilac and others. There are a lot of people are doing very well. But it is just like a drop in the ocean. And what we have is, as a result, the APC came in. They have been shaking democratic space. Their dissent has been, been suppressed in a way that it has not been. It should not be allowed in the democracy. And for us to get it right, there must be mass participation. It's beyond just a group of civil society trying to have advocacy and change the narrative or have a discussion on narratives that either help to expand the civil engagement process. But the fact remains that the clear need for citizens' participation, mass citizens' participation, because when the majority will always have their way. Not just but the minority will have their say. So if we continue to organize in the minority, through the minority status route, we will always have our say, but our way will still be far away from us. So what I say going forward to try to make sure that government listen to the yearning of the people is to have a process where we have citizens engagement, we have citizens advocacy training for younger generations, and make them understand that democracy can only work when it's questioned. Democracy can always work when it's interrogated. When democracy can always work when the people in power are put on their toes.
All right. Now, the presidency has, or the president rather, has also relocated the Secretariat of the Presidential Advisory Committee on Prerogative of Mercy to the Federal Ministry of Justice. Do you see any good outcome emanating from that decision as well?
That is the right place for it to be, because at least there will be some legal oversight over it. Where it was, the prerogative of mercy has been totally political, totally driven by corruption, where at the ministry it was totally driven by all set of bias, that does not really favor the reputation of the country and uncovers the integrity of the society. So let's take it to Ministry of Justice, where there will be legal oversight and lawyers to be able to scrutinize those who will be qualified to participate or enjoy such level of mercy, and not people with extreme level of crime, which we know will not help to build a moral society if we encourage such route.
Well, does that automatically exonerate the lawyers from, compromising or claims of compromise in recent times in the country?
It do not exonerate them, but it's better placed in the hands of those who understand the law, who sit on the bench, who will be able to review it, and then you'll find out that it will be well contested, and we won't have this level of mess that we have been having when it comes to such level of mercy being extended to Nigerians who are duly qualified or who probably must have been treated in an unjust manner. Because if it's not for political reasons, there's a Jackson that was arrested in Adamawa. Why is he not at the list that has been declared to put on a death by hanging or by firing squad because he defended himself in a civil way. So if the civil defense is allowed under laws, and that has been his defense, but the court said that he should have run away when his life was under attack. Why did he have to start to defend himself? So these are the challenges of the prerogative of mercy. We must be able to identify within our legal framework and the constitutional provision that has been given that has donated that power to the presidency, and then go through the prisons, do proper research, find out people who are incarcerated unjustly, and then help them to get freedom through this process, which will help also build confidence of those who have had to go through unjust ways to be in prisons. All those we are not doing. The Minister of Justice should also look at those who are waiting trial, which crime is supposed to be for 4 years. If it were maybe maximum of 4 years, if you find guilty, and they spend 8 years in the prison, we should be able to go through this process and decongest the prison system. It is not just something for now. What it is, the prerogative of mercy power that has been extended has always been political. Like I told you, it's totally driven by high level of money exchanging hands, corruption, and all sorts of reasons why these are granted. So we need to have a proper review process that will help boost the economy of Nigerians, that this system actually is just to the unjust.
All right, I've been speaking with High Chief Peter Ameh, ex-IPAC chair and also National Secretary, Coalition of United Political Parties. He is also an anti-corruption activist. And on the show this morning, we're looking at, the revised clemency list, by the President, Bola Tinubu, excluding high-risk offenders, and he has also consequently ordered the relocation of the Presidential Advisory Committee on Prerogative of Mercy Secretariat from the Ministry or from the Federal Ministry of Special Duties to the Federal Ministry of Justice. We're looking at the implications of all of this. All right, you can be part of the conversation by calling us on 09073530044 or 09087668888. Leave a message or a voice note on the WhatsApp portal number, and the WhatsApp portal number is 090970544 and 50. Remember to stay civil whilst making your contribution on the show. Chipita, before we take a quick break to go pay some bills, let me quickly ask you this. What impact do you think this whole development would have on, those directly involved and, of course, the victims and, by extension, their family, members?
What with their family?
Yes. What impact do you think this will have on the victims and, of course, their family members?
No, if like I said in my last my remarks, if the system is administered in a way that it brings justice to the unjustly, unjustly treated people within our legal jurisprudence, it will bring a lot of happiness. It will bring confidence boosting in the system in the country amongst the family of those who have been affected and those who have enjoyed such level of mercy. But it's not that the fact that heinous crimes and crimes that have been perpetrated by people who are, meant to bring economic hardship, like oil bunkering and all sorts of that, because you send wrong signal to the young people coming up to see that if they are from powerful family, if they are powerful friends, they can commit crime and get away with it. But if it is used to correct the injustice within the system, if it is used to grant mercy to those who crime wouldn't have been of high economic and human, that have negative effect on human life, then you would have brought some level of corrective measures that will help the people to believe that there is a system that exists, that a system built for the masses, built for the citizens, and built to helping people build confidence in our governance management system.
All right, thank you very much. I'll let you hold your thoughts. We'll revert to you in a short bit. We'll take a quick break now to go pay some bills. And when we come back, the conversation will continue. Remember that you can leave a voice note or a message on our WhatsApp portal number, and that is 090-9705-44 and 50. After this timeout, it'll be time for us to take your calls. Do join us again.
Any motor where you dey drive, you need confirm protection, no, for your engine, no. Make it mobile, oh, make it mobile. Anywhere you dey, your motor deserve to be number one, yo. Make it mobile, oh, make it mobile. You carry the go, make everybody join me, say, make it mobile.
Make you go with the best.
Make it mobile.
Whether you're flying for a family celebration or a much-needed reunion, fly Emirates and start your holiday on board. Explore up to 6,500 channels of entertainment, including live sport. Stay connected with onboard Wi-Fi. Enjoy special meals and toys for kids, and relax in comfort with world-class service all the way. Choose from over 150 destinations, including Dubai, India, the UK, and USA. Book now at Emirates.com. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Please listen to this infomercial.
Aisha, long time o. I never see you for a while now. How business?
My sister, e dey slow sha. I dey post once in a while, but my page no dey move. People just dey scroll pass, no engagement, no sales. Me sef don tire o.
You never try Craft House Agency? Na dem dey manage my page now o. Dem dey create video, do design, and dem dey give me better steps wey I go take make people take notice me, come still patronize me. And true, many people don dey follow me buy market now o.
True, na dem help you do all these things? Wetin dem dey really do wey dey different?
Dem sabi create con ten t wey dey go viral, make people laugh. Plenty people come know me o, and na those people come dey patronize me. Dem still dey help people wey get salon, restaurant, real estate, make dem for see customer. My guy wey get restaurant for Lekki talk say dey help am grow im followers pass ×2 of wetin im get before.
Oga madam, no let your business idle. Do make people notice you with creative social media management from Craft House Agency. Sharp. Send WhatsApp to 081 6930 8515. 081 6930 8515 for free page review. We go help you create content where they engage your audience and grow your business.
Things they happen for our community, eh?
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.